Hello, today I want to talk about coping strategies for managing demand avoidance. There's a lot of information on how to manage demand avoidance for parents that are dealing with the kids, but there's not as much out there for about how PDAers themselves can manage their own demand avoidance. So I've wanted to share some of the strategies that I know of that I've developed myself or used myself, or ones that I've heard about from other PDAers. So first of all, one of the main ones is role play. So if you're pretending to be someone else, it's a lot easier to manage demands if you're pretending to be a character, because like if the character or like the animal has to be can do demands, then you can. It's sort of like it sort of tricks the brain into thinking like it's okay because it's not real. So and if it's not real, then it's not a real danger, and then you can do it. So like if you're a dog, dogs can go out and play in the park, so that must mean it's okay to go in the park because it's not real, because I'm not really a dog, but I'm pretending to be a dog. So I can pretend that I'm a dog that's going to the park, then I can go to the park. Whereas if I was just a kid going to the park, I wouldn't be able to, because my brain would be like, no, we can't go to the park, it's dangerous. But your brain's like, I'm not sure if this is real or not. Okay, let's go. Yes. Also, using role play, that's one of the ones that I use for myself. Like I might pretend, like I might imagine I'm on TV being filmed, as I'm pretending to be a woman who has to do all these dishes and all the housework and hoover and iron and everything. And then I'm suddenly able to do all this stuff because I'm just pretending that I'm doing it. It's not actually me doing it. So that's one of the strategies. Another strategy is when I tell myself to do the opposite, or I try to do the opposite. So like say I need to make a phone call, I might say, I don't need to make a phone call. I mustn't make this phone call at all. And my brain will be like, oh no, you need to make this phone call. And I'll be like, oh, I don't want to make this phone call. And my brain will be like, no, you have to make it. It's really important that you do this phone call. And then I'll make the phone call. It's sort of like tricking my brain. Every time I try and do something, my brain tries to stop me. So if I try not to do something, my brain will make me. So if I pretend I don't need to do something, then I can do it. It's just weird. Another thing is making everything optional. If you absolutely have to do something, it's really, really difficult and nigh on impossible to make yourself do it. But if it's optional, then you don't have to do it as much. Therefore, it makes it easier. So like if somebody was to say, oh, you have to make this phone call, then it'll be a lot harder because I'll see no way out. It'll be like, panicking like a rabbit in the headlights as the car comes straight towards you. You're like, ah. Whereas if the car's swerving all over the place, you'd be like, well, I could go that way, or I could go that way, or I could go that way. So having options makes it a lot easier. And making sure you've got an out. So say I might decide, oh, I know, we're going to go see a museum. But I'll not like fixed, this is what we're doing and that's it. It'll be like, we might go to a museum. Maybe, we'll see. And then that way it's a lot easier. Forcing myself to do a bigger demand. So sometimes like I need to do the dishes, and I might say to myself, well, I need to do dishes, but I need to do this phone call. And this phone call is far more important. My brain will be like, well, we're not doing the phone call, we have to do something else. But I'll be like, I need to do something, I'm going to do this phone call. And my brain will be like, no, we'll do the dishes instead. So it happens quite a lot, this one. Sometimes I don't have any control over it. I might say, oh, I need to get the kids dressed, and then I'll find myself making the breakfast. Or I might be like, oh, I need to open these letters that have just come through the post. Oh, let's put a cup of tea on. Make a cup of tea instead. So it's just, I get a cup of tea, but the letters aren't open. It's a bit annoying. One of the ones that I found is helpful, this is one that I actually used for my OCD. I found it works just as well for PDA, is not thinking about stuff. So like if I need to do a demand, I'll just not think about it at all, pretend it doesn't exist. So like, say I need to fill out a form, I'll just be like, I might do a daydream in my head to distract myself from it, or I might put on some music, or just be thinking about something else, and then my body will automatically go through the motions. This is a lot better for things that are routine, like brushing your teeth or going to the toilet or like getting dressed, things like that. Just like you don't think about it. This is one of the things that actually helped me with getting out of bed in the morning, which was getting out of bed was a big struggle for me for a long time. I'd be unable to get out of bed, and I'd be like, come on, it's time to get up, and my body just wouldn't move. And every time I'm like, you need to get up, come on, move your body, move your legs, I'd be like begging my legs to just move, and they just won't. It's like I'm frozen in place. So I found just absolutely not thinking about getting up at all, and then suddenly I'm up and it's done, and just body moves on its own. So that's a good one for help for doing that. Another one is right, so when somebody asks me to do something, my brain will be like, might be like, I'm not doing that. So what I do now instead is think, well, I'm going to do this, but I'm not doing it because you told me to. I'm going to do it because I want to do it. So they might say, oh, could you make me a coffee? I'll be like, I'm only making you a coffee because I want one. I'm making a coffee for me, so I'll just make you one while you're at it. And it's not because you've asked me to. And inside I'll be thinking, I know I'm just making a quick excuse, that I'm actually doing it because they asked me to. But this is the way that my brain, that I can get around it. So by saying that I'm only doing this because I want to, or because it's my decision, I'm the one who's decided it, it just makes it a lot easier. Control. Like another one with when people ask me to do something, I might alter it a bit, or I might do it on my terms, so it makes it a lot easier. So say someone says, oh, you need to forward this email to such and such a person. I might decide to phone them up instead and do it that way. Or I might say, oh, then I'll do it tomorrow instead. I'm not doing it today. Like, you want me to do it today, I'm doing it tomorrow instead. And that way I can actually do it. It's a lot easier. Having like a little bit of control. So say, I don't know, someone wanted me to make a cup of tea. I might decide to make coffee instead. Sorry, you've got some coffee. I did the wrong thing. Another one is delaying and procrastinating. Yeah, I find it really hard to do demands as soon as like people want me to, or as soon as it has to be done. So like delaying it and making up some excuse why I can't do it right that moment, and then put it off, and then I'll be able to like run through different strategies and then do it in my own time. So if somebody absolutely wants me to do something straight away, it's just gonna be a big poo storm that just sets off. I'll end up melting down and coming up with loads of excuses why I can't do it, and like kicking off and stuff. So if I've got the chance to like make up an excuse as to why I can't do it right now, I'll do it another time. Then that actually helps me, because then I can do it. Whereas if you insist that I do it right now, I'm not going to be able to do it. So if you want me to do something, just let me do it when I can do it, not like right now. Saying I'm not going to do something and then doing it. Like, yes. So this one I use a lot for like trips, going out to places, appointments and stuff. I'll, for the run up to it, I'll be like, I'm not going. Like, we've got an appointment at the dentist that we have to go to. I'll be like, no, I'm going to think of all these different excuses to try and get out of it. I'm going to phone up the day before. I'm not going to go. I don't want to. I'll think of something else to do instead. But I know all of this is lies. Like, it's just a strategy to get me through it. but I'm tricking my brain into thinking we're not going to do it. It's just, I know I have to, but we're not doing it. And then like 10 minutes before, I'll just be getting ready and off we go. like, so yeah, like pretending we're not doing something. Like, or I might be like, oh, I want a cup of coffee. Yeah, I'm not making a cup of coffee. I'm not doing that. Nope, no coffee. And then suddenly I'm putting the kettle on. Got a nice coffee. Novelty, yes, that's one that always comes up. I do find it a lot easier to do demands if I change things. So like, say I need to have a bath, I might buy myself some nice lush bath bombs, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I get to try this new thing, and it makes it look different. Or I might go to a place a different way. Say I have to have an appointment that I've got to go to, I might take a different route, or I might stop off at a shop on the way, or I might wear something completely different to what I'd normally wear, just to make it anything to make it look different, because that actually tricks my brain into thinking it's something completely different. My brain's like, I don't know what's happening, and then it gives me the time to be able to do it. So yes, novelty is definitely a very important factor. It's not very easy to do though. I mean, sometimes there's just not things you can change about it, so that makes it a lot harder. I mean, even something simple like I don't wear makeup very often. But if I'm struggling with a demand, I could put nail varnish on, and that would just completely change everything, because every time I'd look at my hands would be different, and it would flummox my brain. So it'd be like, oh, I need to write these forms. Oh, my nails are different. Oh, writing it out. So yeah, that's just some of the ones that we come up with that we use. I'm sure there's plenty more, but it's just a case of trial and error and finding out what works for you and trying different things. If something doesn't work, and it doesn't work. A lot of things work for a little bit of time and then they stop working, and then you try something else and then you can use them again in the future and suddenly they're working again. So it's just a case of trying and seeing what works. So I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching. Bye.